The world and our business environment right now feels a little challenging. Maybe that's a light word for how it actually feels for many of us. But today I want to talk about that word challenge, and I want to talk about how it plays out in our own growth as leaders, how it plays out in our organizations, because the most successful organizations that we work with actually seek out challenge. And to many of us, that's a foreign idea. Like, why would I want to be uncomfortable? Why would I want to do something that is painful or I could make a mistake in? But the real thing is that the best things in your life, the best things our organizations have overcome have been through challenge. It's made us a different and stronger and more resilient organization. And so thinking about challenge and changing your mindset is a leadership attribute that we are seeing stand apart. And leaders that are able to do that for their teams are creating higher performance in their teams, even in the midst of challenge. And then what we also see on the flip side of that as a complementary skill is vulnerability from leaders to really be honest about where you've dealt with challenge in the past as a leader to help your team get through a current challenge. Because the better storyteller that you can be, the better able you're going to be to move people through change, to move people through challenge. And so tying vulnerability to challenge, but to be able to do that, each of us as leaders needs to have our own challenge stories. So what are you doing right now to push yourself? And I've got a couple of examples myself, right? I did a Disrupt HR, which is a 5-minute power talk. You have 5 minutes and the slides advance every 15 seconds. It was the most uncomfortable speaking I've ever done. But I knew it would make me step into my power, step into my message more succinctly, and be able to tell a better story. I'm also in a challenge in our business, like many of you. Our business is evolving. And as a founder and CEO, I'm trying to figure out what's my next evolution for the business. And I know because I speak to a lot of CEOs and executives, a lot of us are in this same position right now. The business is growing. There's new and different challenges that we have to be able to overcome. And we are the lid. If we cannot grow and evolve at a pace that's faster than the business, we're going to start to slow the business down. So my challenge to you again is, where are you seeking out challenge? Because challenge is not just going to show up one day for you. You've got to go find it. You have to put yourself in different rooms. You have to do different things to help you grow as a leader for your own personal satisfaction, but also for the results of the business. Seeking out challenge when I did my personal values exercise is actually one of my values, because I know that moment when I get super comfortable. And that's typically when I get in trouble, when I stop thinking strategically, when I stop innovating for our business. I know that if I'm comfortable, I'm not growing at the same pace as the business is. And so for me, that value is climbing mountains or doing physical things that I didn't know if my body could do. It's doing the talk that I just did a couple of weeks ago that challenged me to really get my message across in different ways and tell a story more succinctly. I'm constantly searching for that. And I didn't realize it until I did my personal values. That was actually part of who I am. But at the same time, I'm recognizing that gap in a lot of leaders that's it's causing issues in organizations. So as all leaders, if we're going to step into a leadership role, we also have to step into a role of being resilient, challenging ourselves, and figuring out how to get ourselves through it so that we can then teach other people to do the same. I have this concept that I talk about called surviving greatness. And it's this point in your success where your success actually starts to hold you back. And success is a relative term, but the job title and the salary, and you've gotten to the top of an organization, now what? And at that point in success, the most successful people on the planet have had to do something different because it's no longer about the external things anymore. It's about changing in here. And surviving greatness, the concept as leaders is we can learn all the things. We can have all the domain expertise. But if we aren't working on ourselves here, if we don't have coaches or mentors or people around us that are really helping us be aware, then we will plateau as leaders. We can't continue just to grow in a bigger title and a bigger salary and expect that we're going to be the leaders that our organizations and our teams need.